Before I begin the first bit of this video, I need to talk about this. It is September 11th, 2025. 24 years ago, our country suffered a massive terrorist event. An event that cost the lives of thousands of people. We say never forget. We must never forget. Yes, we have the memorials, we have names etched in stone, but I remember everything that happened that particular day. I was in New York. I was back in high school. I remember everything about that day, what everybody was wearing, what I was wearing, what classroom I was in. It's just one of those days you don't forget. You just don't forget. Even 40 years, 50 years from now, if I'm blessed enough to live that long, I'll never forget. And neither should you. Now let's get to the point of what I want to talk about. You all know that Charlie Kirk was killed yesterday in a college campus in Utah. As I said in my previous video, my sympathy extends to his family only. Their family shouldn't have to go through this. And you might think that's pusillanimous because I'm anti-right-wing, I'm anti-MAGA. My political beliefs end with my political beliefs. I may disagree with you, you disagree with me, but never have I ever called for violence. Just because I disagree with you, you disagree with me. I've never called for political violence on anyone. I come to the belief that political power should never flow from the barrel of a gun. Unfortunately, there are those who do believe that, and here we are. But like I said in my previous video, I am not going to memorialize this man. I'm not going to say he was a great man or a good man. I'm not going to be like the MAGA who says that this man should be edified. I'm going to tell you the truth about who Charlie Kirk was, how he built up this platform. You're going to hate me for it. I'm already getting hate for it. Hell, I've already been accused from idiots on Twitter that I had something to do with Charlie Kirk's murder. More on that in a few moments. More on that later. But here's what I'm trying to say on this. Charlie Kirk was not a social activist fighting for the rights of people. He was a racist, a bigot, a person who used division and hatred to build up his platform to make him rich. Maybe because it was the laziest way for him to do it, or maybe he actually believed in what he was saying. But he was not a great American, as Donald Trump and so many others on the right wing want to say. This man hated people. I mean, really hated people to the point where he... Matter of fact, let me give you a few clips. You'll see what I mean.
I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because of DEI, it begs the question, when you see a black pilot, you wonder, you say, I hope they are qualified. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? It almost creates thought patterns that are not necessarily, no one really cares when it's HR managers. No one cared when it was, just kind of paper shufflers or even engineers. But now when it's like, wait, hold on a second. You're going to remove my appendix and you're a black lesbian.
Charlie.
This is coming from Charlie Kirk's own mouth, not mine. Charlie Kirk's. See, the real problem with so many people on the right wing is that they want to make this man into some kind of martyr. He's not. What did he sacrifice? Nothing. What did he do positively for this country? Nothing. He may have done things positively for the people who cling to hatred of the other, whether the other happens to be a black man or an LGBTQ or a person of color or a different religion. That's who his service was to. But the right wing, it bothers me that the MAGA have chosen this man as their hill to die on. I'm going to give you 3 examples of what I mean. 3 people in the MAGA media sphere who are ready to go to war for this man. Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, and Jesse Waters of Fox News. Take a look.
We're in a war. The left has been saying put a bullseye on Trump, a bullseye on his supporters.
Charlie Kirk's a casualty of war. We're in this country. We are.
They are at war with us. Whether we want to accept it or not, they are at war with us. And what are we going to do about it?
It amazes me that you all think that we want war, that the Democrats want war, but the only people out there screaming for war are you in the MAGA, are you in the Republican Party. You are screaming for a war. We don't want a war. We don't want to fight on our American brothers and sisters. We never said that, but you have constantly said that. You constantly say, after this happened, I went to my TikTok page and it is inundated with Donald Trump supporters screaming, "It's payback time." One person who actually blocked me like a coward say, "I'm pissed off, I'm angry. I don't want to hear about peace. I want to hear about going to war." You are the ones screaming for war. Democrats are not doing that. All day yesterday, I saw comments from Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and God knows who else, saying that the time for political violence needs to stop. We're the ones calling for calm because we recognize that this violence needs to end. Matter of fact, here's a clip of AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of MAGA's favorite targets, screaming that same thing, that we need to do something about this. Not go to war with the MAGA, not go to war with our fellow Americans, but to legislate laws that prevent this from happening. Play the clip.
Rhetoric, we need to talk about action, and we need to talk about, yes, there are words, but most importantly, we are in a job of leadership. We are in a job of action. We are in a role and a position where the American people are looking to us to do something about this. And every single day, people are dying due to gun violence in America. And every single day, there are people in this building that continue to vote against doing anything. against universal background checks. They continue to support legislation and also remove any way to block the mentally ill, to block extremists, to block people with histories and records of domestic violence from getting guns in their hands. So are we going to do something about this or not? We have a political assassination that happened at the same time as a school shooting where children are dying on the same day, a week after a shooting at a Catholic school where children were gunned down while praying. Are we going to do something, or are we going to argue over rhetoric? That is my question about this. We have to pass gun safety legislation and stop this.
Now, juxtapose that with what the Democrats said, what all of them said, what Alex Ocasio-Cortez said, with what Donald Trump said. This is a small smidget of what Donald Trump had to say about the death of Charlie Kirk. What the President of the United States, the man who is supposed to be the guardian of our freedom, said about the death of Charlie Kirk. Play the clip.
For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory, may God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Did you hear any calm words there? Did you hear any semblance of leadership there? I certainly didn't. But it brings me back to something that happened 11 weeks ago. A Democrat, I forget she was a congresswoman or a state congresswoman. Either way, a Democrat lawmaker and her husband were murdered in their sleep in Minnesota. You didn't hear, and by the way, the murderer was a Donald Trump supporter, a MAGA. You didn't hear any comments from the Democratic Party, or even myself especially. You didn't hear any words of, we want revenge, it's payback time, let's go to war. You didn't hear that from any of us. But let me tell you something what you also didn't hear. You didn't hear angry words from the President of the United States, Donald Trump. In fact, you didn't hear anything from Donald Trump. Trump has ordered the American flags across the country to be flown at half-mast for Charlie Kirk. Nothing about a Minnesota politician and his husband. Her husband. You didn't hear any voices of anger and let's go to war from the right wing or the MAGA. You heard nothing. 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 In fact, the only things you did hear is celebration from the MAGA. And worst of all, worse than anything else, as much as Charlie Kirk's shooting was terrible, at the same time we heard this, we found out that four kids in high school in Colorado were gunned down. Now, I'm getting unconfirmed reports that one of the people dead was the shooter. Point is, high school kids were killed in the school. A place they were supposed to feel safe. But we didn't hear any of this from Donald Trump. We didn't hear any of this from the rest of the MAGA. We didn't hear angry words that it's time to go to war, it's time to buckle down, it's time to fight back. Just over, I think it was 2 weeks ago, children were killed at a Catholic school while they were praying in Mass. We didn't hear anything from Trump. We didn't hear anything from the MAGA. And last time Donald Trump commented on mass shooting during the campaign in 2024, he said we should just get over it.
Terrible. So surprising to see it here, but I'll have to get over it.
Matter of fact, Charlie Kirk himself said we may have to keep our Second Amendment rights, even if it means mass casualty events happen, like school shootings.
You're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen.
Right.
You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home,
Yes.
by having more armed guards in front of schools. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
The hypocrisy is just unbelievable when it comes to the MAGA. You want to roll them up and go to war for Charlie Kirk, but you say nothing about kids being killed. You say nothing about Democratic politicians being murdered, along with their significant others. You want to go to war over Charlie Kirk, but you want to fight a war to stop kids being killed. You just accept it. And this blew my mind. In an interview with one of an eyewitness to this, this is probably the saddest part about all of this, beyond Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I said beyond Charlie Kirk. An eyewitness said, I didn't expect, I moved to this town in Colorado where the high school was just a couple of weeks ago. I didn't expect this to happen this soon. I didn't expect this to happen this soon. I didn't expect this to happen this soon. I'm going to say it one more time. I didn't expect this a mass shooting, a shooting at a school, to happen this soon. That's the reality that kids are going to school for. They expect school shootings for a small scale or larger scale to happen. They expect it to happen. It's become commonplace, and the MAGA don't care. They don't care. But they're willing to go to war over Charlie Kirk. They're willing to kill American citizens for Charlie Kirk. They're willing to kill their neighbors, regardless of color. But if you're a Democrat, you're the enemy. They're willing to do that for Charlie Kirk, but they're not willing to work to stop mass casualty events. And we are supposed to accept that things like that happen. But it's all fire and brimstone when Charlie Kirk gets killed. Now, mind you, I'm going to reiterate this. I am not celebrating the fact that Charlie Kirk is dead. No. Because quite honestly, if I wanted Charlie Kirk to be destroyed, I would debate him, and I would rip him to shreds, and I will make him, and I will expose him for the racist that he is. I say it is in the present tense, even though he is dead. That's what I would do. But there's no way that I want him really dead. That serves no purpose to murder him. What the MAGA has done is created a martyr. Charlie Kirk is their martyr. Donald Trump has made this man into a martyr, to the point where he's telling people to lower their flags at half-mast. He was never in government. He never served this country in the military. He was just a loudmouth that got you that one of the loudmouths that got you elected. Excuse me. Charlie Kirk is just one of a long line of unfortunate bastards that used racism, bigotry, and hatred. This is coming from his own mouth. Racism, bigotry, and hatred in order to make a buck. And maybe he did believe what he says. But in the end of the day, that is what I'm going to remember as a monster, a hateful human being. Not this great American that so much of the MAGA is trying to create. That's a myth, and it's a lie. My sympathy is for his family, his children. Charlie Kirk, the man himself, gets none from me. Make that what you will. Call me a hateful bastard all you want. Threaten me all you want. Hell, just yesterday, some jackass on Twitter, some idiot on Twitter accused me of being the shooter in Colorado. He actually put my face out there and said that the shooter was me, using my full name. Using my channel's name here on YouTube. This is how pathetic these people really are. No, it's beyond pathetic. I don't even know if I got a word for beyond pathetic. It's bad enough they want to accuse me of crap, but it's 10 times better when you make a man like Charlie Kirk a racist, a bigot, into your martyr. And I'm not celebrating his death. Let me remind you of all that now. I'm not celebrating that he is dead. Because if you want to know the truth, he brought it on himself. He really did. He brought this nightmare upon himself. Make that what you will. CTP, no truth, God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.